Introductory theme. It's copyright free. Introductory theme. JTAKRAOSPE! Episode 3. The third episode. I am Jollytheoldsaint, JTAKRAOSPE3, and now I've done 3 episodes of something. Good enough for me. End of the show, end of the show, end of the show. I've got nothing else to do right now. On to the next one, I guess. Introduction, theme, music. JTAKRAOSPE3, the one which would confuse people if they cared. This time it's Valentine's Day, so of course I'm going to talk about Uritsuki Doji. It's a little worse than you'd think. Moving on to the next Valentine's Day subject, the Universal Century of Gundam. Gundam, of course, is the very popular giant robot franchise running since the late 70s. The Universal Century refers to the timeline of Gundam before the various shows, books, toys, games, pogs, etc., gave up on any sense of continuity. By which I mean any sense of continuity. I'm talking too fast, god damn it. But I need to talk faster or else I'll never get done in time. The Universal Century kept up for about a dozen series, which I figure I can wrap up in the first half of the podcast without going long. That is, if I talk faster, which I can. Mobile Suit Gundam. The Federation from Star Trek is at war with space Nazis because the space Nazis disagree on what color to paint their robots. You see, the space Nazis want green and red, while the Federation wants the drab white and red. 2 space ace pilots from the Federation and space Nazis butt heads a few times, become frenemies, and then the show got cancelled. Zeta Gundam. Camille Biden, no relation, is sensitive about his girly name. Wanting to prove himself a man's man, he joins the army and beats the shit out of everyone that looks at him cross-eyed. I'm kidding, he's bipolar and cries like a baby. Once he's through doing that, though, he rides a Zeta beam to the planet Ran and becomes some kind of space hero. Double Zeta. Biden's in a coma somehow, so a young James T. Kirk takes his place. From there, his continuing mission is to make every female in the galaxy try to kill him and subsequently join his harem. His plan goes reasonably well. Sheriff's Counterattack. The main space Nazi from the first series has some kind of mother-sister-daughter complex going on now, so he tries to kill a bunch of people using the meteor from Armageddon. Then later he changes his mind. Gundam 0080, War in the Pocket. A 10-year-old boy celebrates becoming a man by enslaving a wild Gundam in a Gundaball. He then travels the Earth in search of more Gundams to tame by fighting them with his own. Along the way he learns about courage and friendship and things that don't have anything to do with a tragic romance involving one of the goddamn space Nazis. Gundam F91. The tale of a legendary Gundam pilot able to swear 91 times per second. He would go on to become President of the United States. Stardust Memory. Remember Ziggy Stardust? Good, hold on to that. Victory Gundam. The spin-off about a plant-type Gundam from War in the Pocket. 8th MS Team. Someone thought it'd be a good idea to have a team of people in the military with multiple sclerosis. It turned out reasonably well. MS Igloo. You should know there's a capital L in there, and I'm not above toilet humor. MS Igloo 2. Inuit Boogaloo. This is the one where I reconsidered the Lou bit, but then figured to go ahead with it because I don't give a damn what you think. Gundam Unicorn. A lot of controversy around this one, I'll claim, on account of the movie The Last Unicorn, supposedly settling all this unicorn nonsense. This series has been coming out gradually for years now. You'd think they'd just finish it already. I hate when a series goes on with such long sporadic releases. And that's the UC. Much like the OC, a mixed bag of shows I didn't honestly watch, but felt like I should know about. On to 4s then. Kamen Rider 4's, episode 21. I'll call it episode 21, the 19th episode. The episode begins with Fjarzengard and friends being introduced to a new teacher, who starts a conversation as I would by saying that she wants to quit. Donna Troy smells something fishy, presumably on account of his whole turning into a fishman thing. But we're not left with much time to dwell on the cleverness of that. The new teacher kindly explains that she's standoffish and violent, which causes Fjarzengard to stare at the screen for half the episode. I wonder if I can get away with doing that in a podcast. Damn it, I blinked. Well, meanwhile, that night, 3 black belts are in their natural habitat, practicing on a rooftop. They're attacked by a space monster, a horse that kicks like a person. I'll call this one Secretariat. Fortunately, Fjarzengard's friends always keep a mindful eye on those gi-wearing, belt-coloring karate bastards. So now they know the monster that Fjarzengard's gonna fight until it runs away and comes back next week. Using this information, they proceed to prepare to do nothing at all to help Fjarzengard with his next match. Speaking of, he's off trying to befriend the new teacher, Secretariat in human form. I mean, well, she is, clearly, but I guess she does deserve another name. She has a sexy librarian thing going, by which I mean she has glasses. So I'll call her Harry Potter. Fjarzengard's friendly efforts go to waste, and later Harry, Secretariat, picks a fight with a random person in the parking lot. And for no reason at all, this random person is one of the head space monsters, Orko, in one of his many disguises. As a woman. They fight for a bit until Donna Troy notices and decides to join the fray. Noticing that Donna Troy's theme music was playing, Orko gets the hell out of there because he doesn't want to get his ass kicked. Secretariat's not such a pansy, but also runs off once Fjarzengard arrives. His new gadget, Purple Wolverine Claws, was just too tacky for Secretariat to handle. Meanwhile, later at the moon base, Fjarzengard has an idea. This causes electricity to shoot through his pompadour. Yeah, he doesn't explain what the idea is, nor does he have to. The pompadour thing was the point of that scene. Having established that, he goes off to see Harry Potter, who he suspects of being the monster. Well, I assume that was his idea. It might have been another pun-based robot, but it seems like that was it. Harry Potter is training her kickboxing skills at some gym, I guess, in the school. Fjarzengard doesn't really confirm she's the monster. He doesn't even really bring it up. So, to that scene, there was no point. Soon enough, though, Secretariat is attacking someone again. And Fjarzengard remembers to ask her if she's the teacher this time. She plays coy, probably for some reason, and says her identity will have to be beaten out of her. In short, Fjarzengard does that with the flying orange snowboard and the purple Wolverine claws. The shock of Secretariat being the person he suspected to be from the start makes Fjarzengard flinch and wind up getting beaten in the end, though. Meanwhile, earlier, Donna Troy does a flying dragon kick, because I think he was confusing his whole fight like Bruce Lee thing with a fight like Liu Kang thing. So, yeah, okay. My thoughts on the episode. Every scene in the moon base is shot with a ringing noise in the background that goes every 5 seconds. For some sadistic reason. And in this episode it was actually really quiet. So the episode was good? And Boring Douchebag had like one line in the episode, so I guess I liked it. Next time, Four's Divorce. A cooking segment I'm not going to introduce. Or Fours Ignores, an email segment I won't introduce. Till then, good night and good gravy. End of the show, that's it, go home. I don't know why, but it'd bother me if you got the Adam Strange bit. Well, also, since I guess I'm going kinda short, how can I drag this out? 3 little mates from school are we, pert as a schoolgirl well can be, filled to the brim with girlish glee.